medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid?
But you see how much kidnappers are eating from victims.
My bill is government should, I think all the stakeholders should accept. They need to be spoken to. We sit together and appeal to them.
The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So it is support that is needed. And once you get the support, your airlines will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning. Welcome to Inside Nigeria, the last edition for this week, October 8th, 2021. My name is Winifred Ugbebo. Unfortunately, my co-host Bode Gbadebo is not with me right now in the studio, but he will be joining through virtual to participate in today's dissecting of the headline newspapers. And as usual, also we don't have our analyst who would have been reviewing the papers with us this morning. But not to worry, we still have the papers for you and for review. We have Nigeria's leading and most influential newspaper leadership, national economy, Guardian, and Sun on our menu today. You're welcome once again. Now we'll be flagging up with our staple leadership newspaper. Is Nigeria's leading newspaper and of course the most influential. On the leadership today, it says federal government secretly raises electricity tariff. Federal government secretly raises electricity tariff. And on the headline story, we have adjustment inevitable as government can no longer sustain subsidy payment. It's unfortunate and deceitful, consumers say. That is on leadership newspaper today. It also has some other stories as well on its headline, on the front page, And it says you can borrow to fund 2022 budget. The National Assembly tells PMB while presenting his budget yesterday. And on the right, experts warn against rising debt. That is on leadership newspaper. And we have so many stories still on leadership newspaper. Down you would say PDP ratifies Ugwanyi's report on zoning, and as Atiku reacts. PDP ratifies Ugwanyi's report on zoning as Atiku reacts. That is former Vice President of Nigeria, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku, reacts to PDP's ratification of Ugwanyi's report on zoning. Still on the front page newspaper of leadership, it says 206 kidnapped victims regain freedom in Zamfara, Kaduna. White Court James Mena's son, Faisal, 14 years. These are what is making news on leadership page front page Friday, October 8th. Living Leadership newspaper, we are moving over to its sister publication, the National Economy. Bode, are you seeing us? My co-host Bode is logging in virtual. Bode, good to see you. You're back. Yes, I just read that the leadership newspaper's headlines. What do you have to say about it?
Unusual day, I'm joining virtually the show for the first time. Well, and you are alone in the studio this morning, so things like this can happen anytime. Well, talking about the story on the Nation First Friday newspaper, the Leadership Friday. Well, I know a lot of Nigerians will be surprised because jacking up the electricity tariff secretly is what they will least expect from the government. You know, it's a matter that concerns everyone. All Nigerians are concerned. So I think it's not something that the government should have done secretly. It's something that the government should have come open to tell Nigerians, well, it is inevitable that we need to jack up the electricity tariff, and these are the reasons why we are doing that. But then, I don't know, paradoxically, Nigerians are actually, and every day, paying more for darkness, and the government is not bothered. In my area in Lube about a week ago, there was a time that we didn't have light for a stretch of 3 days and no announcement, nothing. And when the light came back, we just saw the light, we started using it, and it went off again for another 2 days. And I can tell you, I'm paying estimated billing. I would pay the fixed amount of money I've been paying on a monthly basis, which is not less than 7,000 naira. So this is one thing too many. It's one corruption too many. The power sector reform is not yielding fruits, and the government, unfortunately, is not bothered. So I know for sure that Nigerians will not take this development, this news story, they will not take it lightly. At this point, that price of foodstuff has skyrocketed, the recession is still there. The impact of COVID-19 on families, economies is still there. So it's quite unfortunate that it's coming at this time.
Yes, but thank you so much for that. Actually, when I bought a electricity tariff last week, I was surprised too to notice that there has been an increase. And I'm so happy that leadership took the lead in breaking the story, revealing that secretly, unknown to many Nigerians, that never how is it called now? How the electricity has actually increased without Nigerians knowing, and it's very, very unfortunate given the prevalent economic situation in the country today. Thank you so much.
Well, yeah, it's an exclusive story, and I think kudos to the leadership team that unearthed that story for the benefit of Nigerians to know.
Yes, thank you so much. From leadership, we are moving over to its sister publication, The National Economy. And on National Economy today, it says, climate change threatens Nigeria's $269 billion ocean resources. Climate change threatens Nigeria's 269 billion naira ocean resources. That is National Economy's news headlines today, October 8, 2021. Bode, what's your view?
Well, Winifred, I know you are not surprised that you are seeing this kind of story this morning on the front page of National Economy. The National Economy has continued in its tradition of actually, bringing serious stories to its front page, stories that look like clear call to policymakers to do the right thing about the economy at all times. Now, talking about our ocean resources, which is also referred to as the blue economy, that we have about $268 billion worth of blue economy is a cheering news. But then, unfortunately, that such huge resources is being threatened is another cause for concern. And what are we talking about in the story? The ocean resources are being threatened by pollution. The blue economy is also being threatened by piracy, the high rate of piracy on our high water. So it is incumbent on the government, especially concerned authorities like NIMASA, the Federal Ministry of Transportation, the Nigerian Port Authority, and other stakeholders around the blue economy to actually come up and put all hands on deck to make sure that our blue economy is not threatened again. It's actually maximized to bring more money for national development. Remember, a few weeks ago, we talked about the Deep Blue project, which was unveiled in Lagos by President Muhammadu Buhari. It's a multi-million-dollar security architecture around the nation, high waters and waterways. So it is incumbent that we deploy this security infrastructure to safeguard our blue economy, because it holds a lot of potentials for us as a nation, a coastal nation for that matter.
Yes. But do you think that apart from just commissioning things and launching things, apart from that, after commissioning facilities, why is it that the federal government seems to take gaze away from them? We had our security analyst Indaje talking about the dry port in Niger, which was launched with fanfare several years ago, and up to now nothing came out of it.
Well, that looked like our culture here in Nigeria. We do things with fanfare, and later on, we walk away from them. We forget about them just for show. We just what we call showmanship. We just like showmanship. But I think beyond the Deep Blue project, which is a security, a multi, faceted security architecture, the issue of climate change is another area of concern, Winifred. I spoke about piracy, threatening our ocean resources and the blue economy as it is. But then climate change has far more effect on the blue economy and the ocean resources. And as we speak, I think the Vice President, Professor Yomi Oshibajo, has
Hello. It seems to be a hitch there. Bode, okay. Yes. Bode, have you finished sharing your thoughts? Hello. Okay, there seems to be a hitch over there. From national economy, we are moving on back to Guardian. We have Guardian newspaper on our menu today for an analysis. Guardian says budget of growth in quotes, raises doubt amid high debts, low incomes. Budget of growth raises doubt amid high debts, low incomes. And on the rider, there are potpourri of stories which says federal government to raise $90 billion from sales of power firms. Debts rising because we borrowed our way out of two recessions, says President Muhammadu Buhari. Experts frown on non-compliance with full implementation, reliance on crude oil to fund budgets. Point ways to reduce borrowing. APC urges speedy passage. Lawan cautions Buhari to reduce borrowing, exploits other sources of funding. Guardian newspaper, budget of growth raises doubt amid high debts, low incomes. Bode, are you still with us? Hello, Bode?
Yeah, Winifred. Can you
Yes,
hear me now?
Bode. Yes, I can hear you very clearly.
Yeah, that's our story. You can see that the editorial team of the guy.
Yes. Hello, Bode? Hello? Bode, are you hearing me?
Ability and sustainability. And now the Guardian team are actually, raising question about the economic growth, because people are already casting aspersion on the budget, whether it is realistic or otherwise. But then those are people expressing negative views. You cannot blame them, because of course, as a designing Nigerian, one will be concerned that the budget has about 6 trillion naira deficit. 6 trillion naira deficit. That means we need borrowings to the tune of 6 trillion naira to be able to fund the budget 100%. And this is also happening at the same time that our tax revenue and oil revenue, are coming down. So, there are doubts amid high debts, too much debt, and a low income. So it is incumbent on the government to think out of the box to see how we can expand our tax net to accommodate more taxable people and entities to pay more tax to the government. Then we need to plug leakages in tax remittances, fight corruption, and I can tell you we will borrow less and develop more.
Thank you so much, Bode, for your analysis. However, why NAS is urging President Muhammadu Buhari to borrow in order to fund the budget, experts are calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to sell some of these comatose federal government projects like the refineries in order to fund the budget instead of borrowing and increasing our debt. What do you have to say?
Yes, first and foremost, I don't believe the National Assembly is actually urging the president to borrow more money, to continue to borrow. I want to believe that is just the view of the Senate President, Dr. Ahmad Lawan. In his speech, he said, yes, borrowing is justified, so now you want to use it for projects. And he encouraged the president to continue to look for more multilateral loans to finance our budget. But for how long can we continue to do that? How sustainable is that? And for me, even though I'm not an economist, that is not sustainable for a country that is serious-minded, that want to develop. You cannot continue to put yourself in a debt trap. You cannot continue to put yourself in a debt trap. So it will not allow development. Secondly, talking about selling moribund national assets to fund the budget, it's a very, very good idea, because most of these assets are kept fallow. They are actually consuming more money from us at no value. So it is no longer sustainable. It is a good idea that experts are saying sell those comatose assets, get more money for the nation, and form the budget instead of going to multilateral organizations, tapping and begging for loans. It's a good idea.
It's a good idea. Thank you so much, Bode, for your thoughts. Meanwhile, still on the budget, you know, there are talks. Anyway, we carried the news before that the federal government is spending how much for our debts, servicing. Sorry. So now the National Assembly is still telling President Muhammadu Buhari to borrow. Don't you think that it's going to, at the end of the day, increase the money we are using for this debt servicing, even while also going to pay the debt we are actually owing, which will take years to pay?
Of course, that's correct. That's correct. And like I told you earlier, I don't want to believe that as the position of the National Assembly as presently constituted as an institution. I want to believe that is just the personal opinion of the Senate President Ahmad Lawan. But I can be proved wrong. Maybe otherwise they can come out to say, see, we stand by the Senate President. That is the collective decision of the National Assembly to say the president should continue to put the nation under under debt burden. And of course, like you said, the issue of revenue to debt ratio has been of concern. We use almost 70% or so of our revenue to service debts, leaving us with 30% or less for other developmental projects. That is not also sustainable. It is not sustainable in any serious economy.
Thank you, Bode. Still on this budget that was presented yesterday by President Muhammadu Buhari to the National Assembly, I want to find out now that there is increase in the crude of oil. So don't you think it's something to chat about? It will go a long way in meeting some of our demands in the budget.
All right, Winifred, you need to come again with that question. I didn't quite get you. I didn't hear you very well. Come again now. You are clear. You are clear now.
We are going for a short break. When we come back, we'll be sharing more on newspaper review. For now, but let's go on a break.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. This is Inside Nigeria, reaching you from Leadership Podcast Studio here in the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. And of course, my name is Winifred Ubebo, and my host, Bode Gbadebo, is on virtual today. Yes, Bode, are you back? Bode? Okay, before he comes on screen, we still have one paper more on our menu today for review. And that paper is the Daily Sun. Daily Sun today has on its cover PDP NEC OK zoning of party chair to North. PDP NEC OK zoning of party chairman to North. On the rider, it says, article rejects decision, says it won't solve Nigeria's problem. Bugaje urges Nigerians to vote for competent, courageous leader in 2023. PDP neg OK zoning of party chair to not, as Atiku rejects decision, says it won't solve Nigeria's problem. Bugaje urges Nigerians to vote for competent, courageous leader in 2023. But are you still with us?
Yes, Winifred, I'm with you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. What's your thought on PDP's decision? PDP next decision to zone party chair to North, and of course, there are many Northerners, big wigs that are rejecting that decision, including Atiku, former Vice President of Nigeria. What is your thought, Bode?
Well, it's not unusual for PDP to zone its party position to among the 6 geopolitical zones. It's not new. It has not just started. It's just a continuation. It has been doing that. It is a continuation of its tradition. But what has been of concern to some people is the implication of zoning the party offices. Now that the party national chairmanship office has been zoned to the north, some people are thinking automatically the presidential candidate of the party will come from southern Nigeria. Well, in politics, or let me say politics is a game. And it's not just a game, it's a game of calculation. So
Yes.
it is not everything we see previously that may be replicated. The decision depends on circumstances. For example, now that the PDP has zoned its national chairmanship to the north, it is not necessarily possible that PDP will automatically zone the presidential candidate to the south. We might be surprised because there are precedents. So I don't think people should begin to make calculation for the party. What we need to do now is to keep our fingers crossed and wait to see how the party will actually take its final decision on who will fly its presidential flag in the 2023 general election. And to say that former President Atiku rejected that position is not true as well. Atiku did not reject that position. What he also did was to remind the party that, well, you have the right to zone your positions and tickets to anywhere you want. It's within your power to do that as a party. Also remember that Nigerians also have the power to vote whoever they want. So Atiku is just reminding the party, even though people have translated that to me, Atiku is objecting to the zoning arrangement of the party in furtherance of his own wish to become the presidential candidate of the party again in 2023 in order to contest for election. Well, everything for now exists within the realm of speculation. We can only keep our fingers crossed and wait for the time when the party will go to the convention and pick its presidential candidate. And finally, like I told you, there are precedents. In 2007, when the late President Musa Yar'Adua came on board, remember, the late Yar'Adua was from Northwest. The then PDP national chairman was from the North Central, and he is Dr. Ahmadu Ali. So they are both Northerners. So there are precedents. It has happened before, it can happen again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bode, for that analysis. It was really concise. But before we go shortly, there's a news, something worthy to analyze in the Sun newspaper. Underneath, it said Buhari considers fresh tax laws. Buhari considers fresh tax laws. Bode, with this, considering the economic realities of our times, will you say it's nice to have another tax laws in place?
Well, probably, when I was talking about the budget, I said the leaders must think out of the box to see how we can expand the tax net to accommodate more taxable people and entities in order to up our revenue, our tax revenue. Now, while the president was talking before a joint session of National Assembly yesterday, he told them, as customary, that now that I'm presenting the 2022 budget shortly, the 2022 finance bill will follow. And the finance bill is a proposal about financial regulations and law that will help in the implementation of the budget. So for every year, like we have the 2021 budget still operational now, we have a Finance Law 2021 that has, proposed a lot of financial regulation and laws to help implement the 2021 budget. Now that law will expire at the end of the year. So now that we are proposing the 2022 budget as customary, another finance bill will be sent to the National Assembly by the President. That finance bill will be passed into the law. It will become Finance Law 2022. In that law, you'll find a lot of rejigging, readjustment of tax laws and the rest of them to help implement the budget, where on how to make more money in order to implement the budget. So that is what the Sun has interpreted as Buhari considered new tax laws.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Bode, for that analysis. And of course, you did it so well that most times, it's not just to stay in the studio, but you can actually analyze newspaper.
I choose to stay on the other side today. So it's very, very interesting.
Very, very interesting. It was nice having you on the other side on this Friday.
I will return to Inside Nigeria show on Monday by God's grace.
Yes,
I'll be in the studio.
My pleasure. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And for viewers, this will be calling it a day on today's Inside Nigeria, reaching you from Leadership Podcast Studio here in the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. My name is Winifred Ugwebo, and it's been a pleasure being with you on the program. Bye. Have a beautiful, wonderful weekend. See you on Monday.